I have kind of an interesting perspective that some people value and that I talk to. Well, we serve over 1,000 people a day at Huckland, and I'm one of the front guys, so I'm talking to a lot of them and meet different people from all over the world. And I've traveled to 37 countries, and sometimes I sit down on the plane next to even movie producers and all kinds of stuff. And so I talk to a wide variety of people. And here's some things I know for sure. I know for sure that ABC and NBC, to a lesser degree, are super liberal. They applaud things like abortion. They applaud things like getting prayer out of schools. They would applaud gun control. David Muir practically insinuates every time he reports a school shooting that they need to take our guns away. And that's just a fact. I think most people would agree with me. And then there's Fox, that is obviously more conservative. But I don't know how you feel, but I feel like, where in the heck can I actually find the truth? You know, I watch some BBC, I watch some public broadcasting, I watch some other sources of news. But to some degree, I think that the various channels are so dang biased that you're really not getting any truth or any unbiased truth from any of them. So I try to do my own investigative work and try to find out what's going on. As it pertains to the border, I had a nice plane ride with a guy coming to Kalispell to ski that was down there because his gig in Florida was that he rescued dogs. He had over 100 dogs at any one time, and there's dogs all over the border right now that are just abandoned dogs, so he goes down there and helps rescue them. I said, well, what's going on down there anyway? What's your perspective? He said, well, that's my little son, DJ. Oh, son, I already fed you. Come on now, be a good boy. He said, I went down there. This was about 4 months ago. I went down a year ago, and he said it was just a free-for-all. All that was left is a little barbed wire fence, and people were trampling it like hordes, just coming across at will. But the last time he went down there, he said that Texas had stepped in and said enough was enough, and they were personally manning the border, turning people away. And he said the Texas guards and stuff he talked to were saying they were afraid because they felt that Biden was going to deploy the National Guard to stop them from stopping illegals. Because for whatever reason, Biden and Harris are shit-ass determined to get all these people into America. Why did Biden and Harris knowingly bring in 18 million illegals? It's obvious. Our country is split 50-50 politically, so they brought in the deciding factor illegally. In the Philippines, my wife's country, the politicians give away money for people to vote for them. Well, in this case, Biden and Harris have given away U.S. citizenships that economically are probably worth about $500,000 each, knowing that the people they gave them to will vote for their party. What a joke that Harris in the debate accused Donald Trump of being above the law, where it's those guys that are acting above the law. A U.S. president is sworn to defend our country and our borders, not usher in 18 million people to keep their party in power. We the people are the final check and balance in this crazy scenario, and I would urge everybody to punish the party that did this evil by voting against them, not letting them continue to do what is bad for our country, but good for them.
Amen.
And the minute that Texas started turning them back, NBC Montana, which NBC's typically a rather liberal place, they wouldn't be reporting stuff that reflected poorly on Biden if it wasn't true. NBC Montana, that same night that this guy said that Texas was turning them back, reported that since Texas shut the floodgate, that Biden that very day had flown some astronomical figure like 630,000 immigrants into California. And I assume that was not a isolated experience. Another guy that was down in Mexico, he said that the Biden administration was giving these immigrants Visa cards so that they'd have money on their way up. Obviously, it's true that no country can sustain this. At one point, I was taking in quite a few homeless people. I was single, and I'd take in homeless people, and I had guys with dogs that had their dogs puke all over my truck and everything. And once I established a family, I needed some peace and order, and I was not able to do that. And just taking in a bunch of desperate people is no recipe for a safe, blessed country. So what did I personally think of the debate last night? I thought, why in the heck didn't they get Harris in there earlier? She can actually string a sentence together, unlike Biden. And she carried herself with poise and a little bit of charm. And yet, you know that the policies that she stands for are going to produce the same thing in the next 4 years that they produced already in the first time with Biden. Super high inflation, absolutely uncontrollable border, and no matter how charming or witty or baiting Trump she was, these values that came across are sure not something I'm going to vote for. So that's my insight into the border situation from talking to an individual that was there twice rescuing dogs. And maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't, but it might broaden your world from the one-dimensional biased news that comes across the airwaves. As for Trump, I appreciated the fact that he's come right out and said that he's going to defund all this converting of our school system into a production facility for trannies. But I sure didn't like that he was so wishy-washy about the Ukraine. 4 days after the invasion, I got banned from Facebook for 30 days for saying that we need to do more to stop this Hitler-esque invasion. Yeah, they banned me from Facebook, but at least everybody knew where I stood. How come nobody knows where Trump stands? The impression I got was that he's saying, well, if you elect me, then I'll use my magic wand and stop the war. If he's a true American caring for the American people, why doesn't he make a couple phone calls or wave his magic wand, even if he doesn't get elected?
Amen.
I guess in politics nowadays, you got to talk out the side of your mouth. You can't really say what you mean and mean what you say. But if I was asked about abortion, for instance, I'd say the truth, that 99% of abortion could be stopped if the couple wasn't so lazy that they wouldn't even go to the gas station and get a rubber.
Amen.
It's moving around already, huh?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Very active. As for cases of rape and stuff like that, I sure wouldn't hinder somebody from terminating the offspring of a rape.
Now please give me a subscribe and share this with your friends. Do you know that I have over 10,000 subscribers? I got a beautiful award for the 10,000 subscribers.